Doug Karsch, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. All right, what is not a concern? What are things that you think are going to be fine when it's all said and done with this Tiger team? Because there are trends to be worried about. I want to see them add bullpen arms, but I'm less I feel like the bullpen, a lot has been asked of them because of the starting pitching failures and because of the injuries. I feel like they're getting spread thin. I want them to add arm, don't get me wrong, but as far as the overall totality of the bullpen, I have a feeling it's going to be better when they get Reese Olson back. And maybe guys can return to a little bit more of their custom roles. But, I know that it hasn't been as lights out, but is there anything that looks bad right now that you're not worried about, Scott, that you would put in that category?
I'm sorry, are there any
things that are concerning, but you think will be fine in the end?
Well, I've long held that everybody keeps talking about having the right hand bat. Got to add another bat. I don't think
You're not worried about the offense.
I'm not worried about the offense at all. Okay. I'm just not. I mean, I'm not opposed to adding a piece if it comes up and it makes sense. Sure, go ahead and do it. But that's not pressing. What's pressing is what's coming out of the bullpen, and I'm starting to get a little concerned about the rotation as well because of what's the inconsistency with Flaherty. But Reese Olson is going to come back. He's going to make at least one more rehab start with Toledo. He pitched the other day. Looked like he was fine. So we'll see how he does his next start out there. He's ramped up from 40-something pitches to 58 pitches. So it's just the right trajectory and progression for him. Threw a lot more changeups, and that was the thing that sent him on the IL in the first place. That he was having this weird feeling in his pinky when he was throwing the changeup. So if he's ready to go, that's great. That'll be a big lift for this team. And Casey Mize coming out yesterday and having a nice outing, even though he left after 5+ innings with the cramping. I suppose looking back at it, you can totally understand, given that people were dropping like flies all over the place because of heat and whatnot. So you get that when it comes to this time of the year. But Mize pitches well, Scooble, and it'd be great if Reese Olson steps in the mix and does what he can do because they need to have more consistency.
Yeah, and the other thing about the bullpen I just want to mention real quick is Alex Lang is probably going to be back, and Alex Lang can be an important part of this bullpen.
He's already pitching in rehab starts.
Yep, so
stints.
That's good to see, and hopefully we will see him relatively soon, and he can return to form relatively quickly. Weird lat injury, so we'll see. 248-539-9797. Gator, let's give our champ a chump before we get to the calls. My champ of the weekend is the MLB schedule makers. I've been bitching about days off, and now I'm actually glad that they have one. This Monday day is a day that the Tigers need. Jam-packed schedule, impacted by the rain and the delays and all that. A noon start, which was, I think, an unfortunate noon start, the timing of it. But bottom line is I'm glad they have a day off. I think it's a good time for a reset and kickstart getting back to good play on Tuesday.
I'm going to give it up to the Oklahoma City Thunder fans. They deserve it. They've had great players in the past, but now they have a great team and also a great player, and now they have a championship to boot. The all-blue look in the arena was spectacular. I mean, that is as impressive as any whiteout you'll see or any other out you want to see with team fans going with a certain color. They all wore that blue, and it was amazing to see. It was a great visual on TV.
My chump is, unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton's Achilles. You get fired up for a Game 7, and Indiana, God bless them, they tried, but you just kind of knew, well, this is over, and most of the drama was gone. They battled, but the beginning of the second half, OKC pulled away, and we all kind of felt like it was inevitable. So, man, that sucks. But it sucks for watching the game last night. It doesn't suck as much for the Pistons. And we'll get into that a little bit later on.
My chump is baseball weather around the country. It affected almost every Tigers game last week, dating back to the games here in Detroit with the rain, and then obviously what happened Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the rain in Tampa. But the Heat took down players in multiple cities. If you saw what happened in Chicago at Wrigley Field, there were players that had to leave because of heat exhaustion, had to be helped off the field. They had an umpire that left after 5 innings. You had an employee that was on the field, I think, presumably along the one of the baselines, that he had to go. Ellie De La Cruz was vomiting in one of the games as well. It was just the heat index is crazy. I don't think it's any different now than it ever has been, but just happened to be this weekend was pretty bad for these players, and everybody deals with it in different ways, and they're going to smarten up real quick to make sure you're hydrated with the electrolytes and all that.
I dealt with it by making it seem like I never showered. 248-539-9797. It is Karsch and Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket. Let's get to your phone calls. We go to John. You're on 97.1. Hi, John.
Good morning, Doug and Gator.
How are you, sir?
Great show. Look forward to you guys every single day down here in Sarasota. Nice. I feel like I live in Detroit again, just thanks to Odyssey.
That's great.
I'll get right to my champ and chump. It's Tiger centric. Riley Green is my champ. I mean, watching him, and I know he runs funny. You'd never think he'd get some of those balls, but I mean, he put the team on his back yesterday. He had 2 doubles and 3 catches. Might only been 2, but 3 that should have never been caught, and by somebody who, he's a big fella, right? So I just think he's, and everybody whines about his strikeouts. Like, get over it, okay? He's a man out there, and it's just fun to watch him. My chump is Flaherty, Gator. Like, I'm ready to. I'm out. I think it's a lack of focus. I don't know. I'm just shooting from the hip here, but he just doesn't. He has no intensity before or after the game. So I do not consider him a number 2 starter. And
well, he's not pitching like one right now. But I mentioned earlier, he had those 3 starts in a row, 2 against the Chicago teams, and the other one against San Francisco. The end of the month of May and then into June, those were 3 really good starts. But outside of that, you got surrounded by 6 starts that are horrible, and it's concerning because Jack Flaherty is being counted on to be this number 2 guy. I have confidence that he'll get back to being Jack Flaherty, but it needs to happen sooner rather than later, because we're getting into the last few weeks before the trade deadline, and they need to know, are they going to have to go out and add a starting pitcher?
Well, I will say, all the talk about we have to do something now, I'm on the side of wait 2 more weeks. You never know, injuries or something else happens, and I believe in AJ and Scott Harris. I mean, they're just getting it done, and they're just fun to watch.
Let me throw something else at AJ has. I have a lot of faith in AJ. I have a lot of faith in Chris Fetter too, and if Fetter can't fix you, I'm not sure you're fixable. I guess that's probably not true. Maybe just what he does won't work for certain individuals, but they have competent people to try and turn around any struggling pitcher, and Flaherty being one of them. And he's an important part, man. They got to have that 1-2 punch. They obviously have number 1, and there are times where Flaherty looks like he can be number 2. Now the good news is the playoffs don't start next week. They don't start next month. A lot of time to sort it out.
Yeah.
And heck, the trade deadline isn't even for another month and a week. So if a month and a week from now, Jack Flaherty is no better and they haven't sort of figured something out, guess what? Maybe they go hunting for a number 2 starter.
Yeah, I suspect that he'll figure some things out and he'll be better and more consistent for them. I'm excited to get Reese Olson back, and that's going to help. But it doesn't mean they still don't have issues with the rotation, because you've got the other situation with whoever that 5th starter is. Is it Gibson Long? Is it Montero? Montero has shown signs of being better and more consistent. Gibson Long is, who knows what they really have there. Mm-hmm. But it's a luxury to have 5 quality starters. Yeah. And right now they don't. I don't know if they have more than 2 at this point.
248-539-9797. Let's go to Stan in Shelby Township. You are next. Hello, Stan.
Good morning, fellas. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Doug, I really appreciate your metaphor about the sliding scale to where we have possible issues. And my champ is Casey Mize. It was not probable that he was going to come in and shut down the hottest team in baseball, who has a 22-8 record over the last 30 games, who punched the Tigers in the nose twice, and he did it. And I wonder if he could possibly, if he keeps going on this way, he could be the number 2 starter because he is, got real pedigree, and I think that that could be possible. Second thing, since the winter meetings last year, Scott Harris mentioned about getting a right-handed bat. That's my chump because now I don't think we need one. Currently, the Tigers' record against left-handed starting pitching is 15-5, and we did not know at that time that we would have the performance and production that we are getting from Torque, Avi Baez, and Dylan Dingler. And so, like you, I think of the 3 areas the team needs help, be it starting pitching, relief pitching, or a right-handed bat, I think the biggest thing we need is relievers. Some more swing and miss. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not. I think you're probably right. Look, I have concerns because I like the lineup better, and I do think they need a right-handed bat. I do like the lineup better against right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. But at the end of the day, the longer this goes, that they sort of act like it doesn't matter to them, then it doesn't. I mean, the one thing to keep in mind is even if a guy is producing against the same sided pitching, a lefty-lefty matchup, righty-righty matchup, it doesn't make it more comfortable for the pitcher. Like the pitcher is going to be less comfortable, a right-handed pitcher facing a left-handed batter and vice versa. So that is a part of the variable here. But at the end of the day, like you said, and Gator, you stated, as much as I like the lineup against right-handed pitching better than left-handed pitching, if they continue to produce, they might render the whole thing irrelevant. So
cool. Thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate the phone call. Champ and Chump, get your votes in, 248-539-9797.